That's good. And if the 4 of you, and I should have said this before, if you don't mind sitting on the ground, just right here in a row would be perfect. Oh, no, you can't sit over there.
In a row like so?
Facing. Perfect, facing this way. So what this is I want to go through different teaching and learning paradigms. And you're all going to sit here and go, well, we're talking about outward bound experiential education. It's a given, right? Challenge that. So this is knowledge. Okay, and knowledge exists. How does knowledge exist? Is knowledge created, or is it out there and we just discover it as we gain more tools?
It's passed by the instructor lead.
Let's go way big knowledge. What is knowledge? You got ontological knowing, you've got epistemological knowing. What is knowledge?
It's on your epistemology.
Excellent. Okay, it depends. So we have to come to an agreement. So knowledge, do you think that you go out, that we go out as scientists? Knowledge exists?
I'm so sorry. I'm bouncing around too. Oh, God.
So, let's see a show of hands. This side is going to be knowledge exists, and we gain the tools to discover more and more as we go along. And kind of this hand is going to be we co-create knowledge through nomos or whatever you want to by giving things names and giving them structure. So who's on this side over here?
Is that a stage right hand or is that a right hand?
That's the knowledge exists and we're just giving the tools. And how many are on the co-create type? Okay. We got to agree on something here, people. We're never going to move forward. So let's just say that knowledge, no matter how it exists, is right here. Can you do something really knowledge-like? Ah, that's beautiful. Okay. So who do you think this is?
The tool.
The tool? Don't do tool. You gotta know me.
The information.
Close? Facilitator, instructor. Okay, let's stay traditional. This is the professor. You shall profess. So you have knowledge, and you have your instructor or professor. Who are these?
People,
Students. Excellent. So in this paradigm, what is the instructor or professor's role?
Instilling the knowledge into the
I love these words. Instill, impart, transfer,
channel.
channel, disseminate. These are excellent words. Okay? And what are these? Learners? What's their job?
Be sponges.
Sponges.
To get a date to the prom.
What's that?
Get a date to
Date
the
to the
prom.
prom. What are some real kind of classic words we use to describe learners or students? Go all the way back to Plato.
Passive, docile, receptive.
Passive, receptive, those are good words. Ever heard of the blank slate? You ever heard of the empty vessel? Okay, so concepts like that. So in this paradigm, knowledge exists, the instructor imparts the knowledge, the student absorbs the knowledge. How does the instructor know that they've mastered the knowledge?
Testing, evaluating.
Testing and evaluating, okay? What else? Regurgitation. Here you go. Get it back, get it back, get it back. Okay. So, that's a very traditional. How many folks, not in your programs, but in your education, would say this is the predominant paradigm that you learned in?
Sure.
Almost everybody? Okay. How many folks would say in your field courses, this is the predominant paradigm that's used? I'm going to challenge that. We'll work on that in a minute. So, obviously we have a real interesting relationship here. And we have some challenges with our instructor. What are some challenges for the students to be able to interact with the knowledge? He's in the way. Very clearly.
But
What
he
else?
only speaks one language. Let's just pretend he only speaks one.
Okay. Okay. So if the learners speak different languages, and he speaks one, there's an automatic disconnect.
Right. Be it whatever communication you call language.
Excellent.
And it's my take on it's my view of that.
This is the key. This is the key. There's a filter. There's a neck, a narrowing, a funnel of the knowledge, and an interpretation of the knowledge. And that's a really important thing to remember in our teaching and learning paradigms that we engage in experientially, is that no matter how much you feel that you're this very open, experientially based person, you're still filtering.
And your data said it didn't matter though.
No, I'm going to get to that. I think it's an important piece. And what it comes down to for me is transference. And that's what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. So this is the traditional paradigm, and it's okay. I mean, a lot of us learn this way. A lot of us teach how we were taught. You ever heard that one? We almost always, when we don't have subject matter expertise, command of the room, command of the learning environment, or facilitation. This command is a word that we would use in this situation. Often regress to our primary or instinctive teaching style. And that typically is this. How many times, be cognizant of this, how many times are you standing in front of a group facilitating versus the next thing we're doing? Okay, so lock that in your head for a minute. Okay, you get to come over here. And you get to come down. Any questions before I go into this next piece? Okay, do me a favor, and for video's sake, do you mind just sitting right here? Great. And with the four of you, move around knowledge, please. Okay, so again, we have knowledge. And this is simplistic, folks, I know it. There's ways of learning, ways of meaning different types of learning. But I want to keep it simple right now because I want to get into a couple main points. So now we've changed the paradigm. And we put knowledge in the middle, and we put the learners in direct contact with the knowledge. Where's our instructor?
Resting.
And so if you don't mind, just kind of tuck in a little bit more like a circle. Great. And then your job, you're just going to hang out for a minute, okay? So what's different about this setup?
They have direct contact.
Direct contact. Can you reach out and touch them? Can you smell them? Can you taste them? Do you want to taste them? But you see the difference? It's right there, and you can use all your senses to interact with that way of knowing. What else is different?
The teacher's not disseminating information.
Great. And let's focus. Perfect.
Oh.
Let's focus on the students. What's different right here?
They're on the same level.
On the same level.
You can interact with each other as opposed to...
You can interact with each other while you're interpreting this new thing. What else?
He's just physically, he's more mobile. He could move around and prompt us to reach out for...
Excellent. And that's going to become really important in a minute. What else?
They have different perspectives on the knowledge now.
Different perspectives. Where's the filter?
It's just their own.
It's their own.
Excellent. So what are they bringing to this learning environment? Malcolm Knowles, come on folks. John Dewey. Really important stuff.
They're bringing themselves.
Excellent. And what comes with them?
All their experience. Their knowledge and experience.
Knowledge, experience. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so one of my favorite focus areas, especially in adult learning, is learner self-world view. How they come to the learning environment. And how safely we set up the learning environment for them to start engaging. And so they're going to come to this. Where do we build our worldview from? From experience. Or what we learned. Who are our teachers?
Our family.
Our family. A huge influence on how we form our worldview. What else?
Could be our community.
Community is huge. Where do students in K-12, where's their community oftentimes?
Facebook.
Facebook. Excellent. Good point. Where?
Peer group.
Peer group. Yep, so there's a lot there. They learn a lot in school, both academically, socially, morally, everything else. And so each of these folks come to this learning environment with a self-world view. They also have cultural, different life aspects. They might have different languages like we were speaking of. So there's a lot here. This is a loaded situation in a good way. There's tons to work with. So it's very It's very fertile, if you will. So, what's he doing?
Well, I mean, you can,
What's your job?
I think to help them more individually. Like
Okay.
maybe to give them like a prompt or something, based, if they're seeing it from their point of view, then I can help them maybe see another point of view, without necessarily being mine, but also with mine, because I'll be giving it.
Okay.
What's also cool about this, I never thought of it, it's like here you can work on individuals because you're outside.
Exactly. That's a really important piece, but there's more.
This provides an experiential opportunity, and this guy can become a facilitator.
That's my key. We've just gone from an instructor or a facilitator to, or instructor or professor to a facilitator. What your job is, this is the art of teaching and learning, okay? This is the art of learning how to facilitate the interaction between the student and the knowledge. Sometimes you just gotta throw a little something out there and poof, it goes crazy all by itself. You know what I mean? You get tons of energy and they just start playing and having fun and whoa, there they go. But what do you do? You want to stand over there for me? So you're the known. This is the known for an individual learner. You know, just call it the known. And I'm the unknown. So a facilitator, if there's a known and an unknown, and we're pretty close to each other because we've had other life experiences, I can just shake his hand. Worked out really good. We start having discourse, we start having interaction. But what happens if the known and the unknown are really far apart? How does the learner start to engage the unknown? So Stephen Brookfield calls this tension, creating tension between the known and the unknown, or creating tension between paradigms. What the facilitator does is say, hey, I know you don't really understand what this is, but a long time ago, you went to Mount Rushmore and you saw these 4 heads. Do you remember that? Oh, I do, Mount Rushmore, that's right. Do you remember what their names were? I do, I remember one of them was Washington. So what the facilitator does is start to draw, it's like a romance. It's like a relationship. The facilitator tries to build the relationship between the learner and the knowledge. I give an example all the time. When I was growing up, I grew up in a white supremacist community, and there were no people of color in my community at all. As a matter of fact, we had one family move in when I was in high school, and their house burned down the next weekend. And so when I left my community, a very closed, narrow, white community, and I went to Outward Bound, and there's a Jewish kid, and there's an African-American kid, and there's women that they listened to Jerry Garcia, and they did all this really weird stuff. Okay? Was I standing right here with them? No. I was about right here, and I was terrified to engage that, because everything I'd learned for 18 years had told me that that's not good. And my instructors, my facilitators, slowly, through different exercises, brought me close enough that I could start interacting. And that was the key to my learning. So we need to be conscious of this. We need to be cognizant of this at all times in our instruction. So this is kind of a fun role now. And we got to play with those tensions. It's like playing a violin. You just start working it until you get a nice harmonic sound. Is there any questions before I move on to the next thing?